What is up, guys? This is Quentin at the Young Enthusiast again. Here back at another video in my front yard. And I do got some bad news to tell you guys. Some crazy stuff has been happening for the last month now. And it's about time I finally told you guys about it. I was talking about in my last video, my Thrustmaster review, if you guys saw that. And here's the complete gist of it. So, this Integra right here has been giving me a little bit of trouble, and I can't really fix it. Like, just some crazy stuff happened. Like, one day, I was just driving it, I was at work, drove to work, and then when I went to get off that Friday, just some crazy stuff started happening. Just sounded like dragging, popping, and all that noise. I couldn't understand what it was. Couldn't understand it at all. Oh look, one of those kittens are here. But I went to go to the Alfa Romeo dealership. I was going to go over there anyway, and I wanted to go see what was going on with it. I cut a piece off the bumper because I thought that was what was making a noise. It turned out it wasn't. Then I went to back to my shop at where I work at, and I went to lift it up under and try to find out what was wrong with it, but couldn't really do that because from what it looks like, there's nothing wrong with it underneath. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on. So that next day, I got a rental car to drive it back home that Saturday, that Friday. So that next Saturday, that morning, I went back to the shop, and I got one of our guys, the front end people, to go look at it with their stethoscope to see if they can hear the noise. They heard something in the transmission where the CV axle connects into the transmission on the right. Okay, so he thought he heard that. He heard some grinding noise, but when I went to replace the CV axle after getting it from parts that day, wasn't nothing wrong with the end of it. Like, it pretty much looked normal. Like, nothing was wrong. I still installed the new one anyway. It kind of stopped, but then it'll do it again. Now, for that week, it basically stopped, and then it'll basically do it whenever I'm driving at low speeds. But after driving about 30 minutes on the highway, it'll just behave like normal. So I was basically just driving like that for about a week, and about a week or two later, that's when it started getting worse. So now the grinding noise became really, really noticeable, right? Like 2 weeks, about the first 3 days of that week, it kind of disappeared, but I could hear like some ticking when I was driving it, whenever I'm like right next to another car, or especially trucks. I can really hear it. Okay, so the noise got quieter, and then it didn't do all the popping, grinding, and dragging noise that it did. 3 weeks into this problem, it just hell went loose. Everything just started grinding and all that crap. It just sounds terrible when you're driving it. It really does. And he's on his 4th week now. I just basically just said screw it. So I basically stopped driving this car as my daily. And you know, it really sucks too, because this month I really was planning on doing a lot with this car. I was planning on getting some wheels, fixing the last of the problems that this thing had, like the rear bushing that was messed up, and probably going to get some suspension next month. This thing was going to be done up, but pretty much it basically just screwed me over. Everything still looks normal underneath. I kind of wanted to go to an Acura dealership and see what they can do for me, but at this point I just said screw it. I was basically going to drive this car until the wheels fell off until last week. Last week I just got tired of the noise, and I just got tired of dealing with it. So I just basically just started driving the CB7 again as my daily car. And to be honest with you, driving the CB7 again really made me remember how much of a better car that this was than this one. Like, before all this crap happened, they're about pretty much the same, but of course it was hot at the time. And this car seems to be better when it's hot than this one. But since it's gotten cooler and it's about 63 degrees right now, but lately it's been like hottest it's been getting is like 50, 40 degrees. So pretty much it's mostly cold and it's mostly been raining too. And you know the rain's pretty bad with the Integra because the sunroofs flew off while I was driving it to work the first week I had it. So I basically got this covering up right now because it's supposed to rain for the next 3 days. So I won't be driving it, so it'll just be sitting here. I don't know what the hell is going on, but as I said, I wanted to go to Accra and see what was going on. I said screw it because I kind of just want to get another car in general. Now, I will tell you guys in the next video what kind of cars I'm looking for. And here's a hint, it's not going to be a Honda product. I kind of want to try something different actually, other than Hondas. And you guys pretty much know me from only having Hondas. Of course, I had the CB7's my first car. I had that Prelude from a year ago actually. That Prelude BB6 with the H22. And then the last car I bought before this one, I ended up having a Del Sol, which didn't last about 2 weeks. And I ended up with this Integra for about $800. Which, I'm be honest, I'm not really disappointed about my purchase. It has gone down, but I can still drive it. It still drives okay. Of course, you feel all the rumbling and shit in the steering wheel. Like, it'll be loose and all that. But it'll still drive me to work and back, but I'm really just driving in the city. The CB7 will be driven to work and back in the highway about 30 minutes a day. I'm gonna be honest, I really have enjoyed the CB7 since I started driving it again. Driving the CB7 really has shown me how much I really like this car over the Integra. Like, the Integra, it has a lot of stuff that the CB7 really needs. Like, its electronics are better. Like, all the windows go down and all the lights work. Pretty much most of the electronics, except for the coolant temperature sensor and the transmission shift solenoid, works on this thing. While only the driver's side window will go down in CB7, which at least I got that. At least it'll go down. And the heat works on this too. But pretty much the CB7's got this car beat, except for the engine. The engine isn't as good in this car as it is in this car. Not in performance. I think this car is better in performance because it makes more power and more torque. Well, no, power is about the same because it's a B20B off a damn crossover. I wish it was an 18, but yeah, it'll do. At least it runs good and doesn't leak that much oil. This car still leaks oil, like, a lot. But at least it still runs, and at least the coolant temperature sensor works, and I'm happy about that. So, this car to this one, to be honest though, I really like this car a lot more. Even before the Integra started messing up, like, this car is just better. At least right now it is. Like, during the summer, I'd probably pick the Integra. But right now, this car is a lot better because it's got heat. The windows roll, at least the window will roll up. It's more comfortable to drive, right? Like, the suspension crap is actually more comfortable to drive. Coolant temperature sensor works, so I know what's going on. Like, pretty much everything is going better when it comes to engine electronics. Pretty much everything works. And I also have no DTCs on this car. The Integra has a couple of them, and in my opinion, I kind of like the shape of the CB7 a little bit more. Some people, most people actually, will disagree that they like the DB7 over the CB7, but I like the way classic Hondas look more. But that's pretty much the situation. I plan on driving the CB7 as a highway car, and I plan on driving the Integra as a city car, and I will be taking it to car meets. Not as many as I used to, but whenever there's car meets that aren't too far from me, I'll just be driving that. It still drives and runs pretty well, but it's just that front end that really got me feeling bad. Well, I thank you guys for actually just sitting through this little update about what's happening with this car. And next video, I will be telling you guys my plans for another car. Hopefully, I'll have it by the end of this year, probably January or December. Well, hope you guys are enjoying your day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you guys next time.